Welcome wine club members to the Savannah Quarters May wine tasting. My name is Landon Donnelly. I am the winemaker for Quattro Theory. I wish I could be there in person to pour these wines and taste them with you. Unfortunately, we have some winery projects going on. We are getting ready for some bottling soon, and so I'm kind of stuck here at the winery. But I want to give you just a quick overview of these wines. Quattro Theory is both Sauvignon Blanc, Chardonnay, Merlot, and Cabernet Sauvignon. And before we even started making these wines, we put together this vision, this plan of really making wines that are fresh, vibrant, wines you want a second glass of. They're food friendly, yet approachable, and that really kind of showcase these four flagship varieties of Napa Valley. So we have an amazing estate vineyards here in Napa, where all this fruit comes from. We have an amazing viticulture team that really farms each block to our specific request to really craft these wines. When you look at grape growing and winemaking, it can be very simple when you look at the general overview of it. But our belief is that the details are what matter. And we want to look at every detail along the process to really make sure we're steering that in the right direction to make these wines. From the start of the vintage, that pruning, all the way to bottling, there's over 1,400 steps in that process. And what those steps are is really decisions that we have to make. How we prune the vines, which barrels we go with, how long we're in barrels for, which yeast selections. A lot of decisions. We control all of those. What we can't control is Mother Nature. Mother Nature always gives us a unique distinction, a unique vintage that we have to work with. So where we can really kind of shape these wines is really important to us. Now, of these four wines, they're all coming from very specific vineyards, or estate vineyards that we own. And they're coming from specific blocks that we feel are really the highest quality. So starting with the Sauvignon Blanc, this is coming from Calistoga. Calistoga is one of the warmest appellations in Napa Valley, perfectly suited for Sauvignon Blanc. Sauvignon Blanc is an early ripening variety. And when you take a warmer climate with it, what happens is the sugars, the flavors, the acidity all ripen at that perfect window. This vineyard also has my two favorite clones. One that's more structure based on acidity, the other that's more on body and aromatics. So when we craft this wine, we actually look at both clones in the blend to find that kind of perfect balance. Now the Chardonnay is coming from almost the opposite. It's all the way in the southern part of Napa, where it's very cool. We get a lot of the marine influence. This is another one of our estate vineyards that's very diverse, and it has actually over 123 acres planted. And for Quattro Theory, we got to really go in and pick small sections of the blocks that we really want to work with. We found 3 distinct blocks that we use every year. These blocks give us that acidity, that flavor and aroma, but it also allows us to use both new oak, used oaks, and concrete to craft this wine. Chardonnay is, we've all tasted the range of styles of Chardonnay. Where I believe Chardonnay really shines is when it is more food friendly, it's more vibrant. We do not go through malolactic fermentation because we don't want to kind of lose that acidity. And we also take a really balanced oak approach so that the oak is there as a slight complexity, but not overpowering. Mm-hmm. Now, with the Cabernet, this is probably the varietal that we take the deepest dive. We're looking at 4 different vineyards here, and it's very small sections of these various vineyards, really focusing on specific clones, rootstocks, and aspect in the vineyard. Majority of it is coming from our 2 St. Helena vineyards, which are on the valley floor. And then we're actually accenting it with our vineyard in Atlas Peak called Haystack, and also up in Mount Feeder, our vineyard called Cloud's Nest. Now with Cabernet, it's very important to get the right tannin profile. We have all the tannins we need in Napa Valley. And so finding that right balance of enough structure to make the wine food friendly and vibrant, but also soft enough to be enjoyable. Now with Merlot is a varietal that I have found throughout my career that requires the right growing conditions, and that is cool climate. I like to work with Merlot that grows next to Pinot Noir and Chardonnay, which kind of lets you know that it's really more of a cool climate growing region that supports that variety. The reason for that is it allows it to slowly mature, allows those skin tannins to really soften and create that kind of round, more mid-palate driven wine that Merlot is. This vineyard is coming from the appellation of Atlas Peak. However, it's in a very unique kind of microclimate that's about 10 to 15 degrees cooler than that appellation. And just like I'd mentioned, it grows right next to Chardonnay. So with all that said, I hope you enjoy the wines. We work very hard on them. They are made at this fantastic facility called Drink Care Napa Valley. We're basically given all the tools and the resources we need to make these. My team and I are very proud of these wines, and I hope you all enjoy them. And I will hand it over to Diane to lead you in the tasting. Thank you so much.